Welcome to Modern Lifekeeping, where we discuss ways to thrive in today's world. I'm your host, Lori Christine. Self-care has become a basic need in today's world. We are learning that the relationship we have with ourselves is by far the most valuable and important relationship we'll ever have. Our ability to relate to ourselves reflects our ability to interact with others and the world around us. Self-care is not selfish. It is not something that is shameful. It does not mean we are a narcissist. Instead, it is the antidote to narcissism. It is about being grounded and present in your own body, aligned in mind, body, and soul. It is about knowing ourselves so well and caring about ourselves so much that there is no room for narcissism, self-sabotage, or toxic relationships. Caring about yourself means that we no longer give away our power to others. We no longer allow others to take advantage of us. We no longer act as a people pleaser who needs others to like us. Self-care is a journey, a practice, an art form. It is a destination. It is lifelong. The art of self-care is about loving ourselves enough to have boundaries in our life, to feel safe with the choices we make, to understand our own limits as well as our potential. Loving ourselves is about being love, whatever that means to each one of us. For years, I did not practice self-care. I did not love myself enough to walk away from relationships that were toxic, jobs that constricted me, environments that stifled my growth. People gave me their best wisdom, but with phrases like, heal your inner child, I didn't know what they were talking about, and so I stayed stuck. It has taken me a multitude of experiences and aha moments to put the puzzle pieces together and to understand what it means to practice self-care. For me, self-care is an expression of self-love. It means having unconditional love for myself so that I can offer it to others in an authentic and meaningful way. It is about understanding where I end and something else begins, whether it be a person, place, or thing. It is about knowing what feelings expand me and having the tools to manifest those expansive feelings. It's about feeling in alignment in my mind, body, and soul. To know thyself is to love thyself. Self-care is all about recognizing our own value, knowing that we are already perfect exactly as we are, understanding that there isn't a right or a wrong, and that whatever meaning is attached to that label is meaning we give it. Self-care is about recognizing the power within ourselves to create our own life. Caring for ourselves is about getting right with ourselves. Caring for ourselves is about getting right with ourselves. Doing this guarantees you clarity and freedom from struggle. Who wouldn't want that? Self-care refers to doing the work on yourself, with yourself, for yourself. This work is no one else's business but your own. It is work that you do with the best version of yourself, the one that has your back, the one that knows what you truly need, the one that is in your head cheering you on, the part of you that is infinite. What does the best version of yourself look like? Only you know for sure. The best version of yourself is the one you want to care for. That is the self you strategically invest in. That is the self that represents your potential. Invest in feeling great about yourself. Anything that does not serve your best self is a lesson in what you don't want and an opportunity to transform yourself from powerless to powerful. Lack of self-care leaves us open to narcissists and other energy vampires. Lack of self-care dims our light. When our light shines bright, the path is clear. When it is dim, we can't see clearly, and we stay in situations longer than we need to. We also allow energy vampires to drain us, and we forget we know how to protect ourselves. Lack of self-care means we react instead of respond. We are defensive and embrace a lack mentality. We think that life is conspiring against us instead of for us. We perpetuate more of the same, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Self-care is the antidote to this vicious cycle. It is poison to narcissists and energy vampires. It shines light on the dark. Self-care expands us instead of contracts us. It is a natural remedy, a practical solution, and a sustainable source of energy. Get to know thyself. Be curious about yourself. Allow yourself to be defenseless, non-judgmental, and vulnerable as you explore the many layers of yourself. Recognize your superpowers. See when you practice self-care how your superpowers can be used to your advantage. Notice how when you are not practicing self-care, they can be weaknesses or challenges in your life. To practice self-care, forgive yourself as easily as you forgive others. Identify your emotional triggers, the positive as well as the negative ones. Learn to recognize various emotions and the messages they are communicating to you. Start to explore your beliefs. Most of our programmed beliefs are false and or limiting. They are programmed into our mind because of conformity, fear, and survival. We are at the point in our evolution where it is time to use our minds to live our best life. And so, self-care means managing our mind, being in control of the thoughts that you think instead of letting the thoughts control you. Choose thoughts that support the best version of yourself. Filter out self-sabotaging thoughts that bring you down instead of raise you up. Be aware of your self-talk. Talk to yourself as if you are talking to your best friend, because you are your own best friend. Start tuning into the language you use when you speak with yourself, as well as the language you use when you speak about yourself. We have the power to disempower or empower ourselves with the words we choose. Practice self-care when you choose your thoughts. This looks like you choosing thoughts that are loving. Speak about yourself to others in a loving way. Treat yourself as you treat your loved ones. Recognize your own needs before the needs of others. It is like being on an airplane. You have to help yourself with oxygen before you can help others around you. This is why self-care is so important. The love you have for yourself matches the love you can give to others. Self-care is about loving yourself fully. Until you love yourself fully, it will be difficult to love others fully. As you become aware of your emotions and your triggers, pay attention to when you respond versus react. Notice the difference in energy. Responding feels like self-love. Reacting feels like you're protecting yourself. You have the power to be able to respond versus react when you practice self-care. Loving yourself will look like having boundaries about how you will be treated. A response might be you speaking up for yourself. A reaction might be you blaming the other person for making you feel a certain way. Self-care involves taking responsibility for your own emotions. This means doing the housekeeping for the underlying thoughts that drive the emotions. Which one feels expansive versus limiting? Self-care is about being able to recognize the difference. Self-care involves being open to the perspectives of others. Open-mindedness is a self-care practice because it allows you to be open to new ideas, ones that may be expansive. The perspective of others also provides you the opportunity to understand how others think and perceive things. This helps when communicating. We practice self-care when we are honest and open, as well as able to relate to others. It reduces misunderstandings when we are open to the perspective of others. Being able to say and mean no is a large part of self-care as well. Creating boundaries are your priorities. If you know that you are easily triggered when you are tired, then adequate rest is a priority over people-pleasing. This is self-care. Take care of yourself so that when you show up, you can be grounded, loving, and present in any situation. Listen to your body in general. Know what it feels like to have low blood sugar, feel hungry, or to have overeaten. Tune into the physical needs of your body. Are you eating your emotions? Or are you eating because you need fuel for the day? Along those same lines, are you overdoing it on physical activity? Listen to your body. When it is tired, rest. If you have a headache, reduce your stress. If you are restless, go outside for a walk. Understand what your body is communicating. Popping pills at the first sign of a symptom is not self-care. Observing the patterns in your body is self-care. If you require an antacid every single night, regardless of what you eat, you might have too much stress for your body to properly digest. Listen to your body. It is communicating to you at all times. These are all the ways that we practice self-care. Self-care is about getting to know what your needs are and understanding them, and how to meet them in a way that expands you. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Modern Lifekeeping with Lori Christine, brought to you by Kira Kisses. Self-care is your number one priority if you want to heal your life. I've given you some ways to practice self-care, but there are many other ways. Embrace the ways that help you to align your mind, body, and soul so that you can reach your infinite potential. For more information on my individual and parenting support groups, retreats, and services, visit Kira, Keara, Kisses.com. Until we meet again, keep wondering.